I love shouting at people.
Me too.
Works with the job, I believe. Voilà.
I'm only leading, not making sure they're behind me.
Well, as long as you lead them, follow. You wait right there. All right. Come on, boys, who are you waiting for? Your mother! All right, everyone, around the line. Let's come along. We have some more space right here and some more here. So, here's the deal, boys. You're not here to have your grandma's cookies. You're not here for a drink with your mates. You're not here at your high school prom. You're here for war. And today, we're going to devise a plan that'll get those Nazi bastards out of France and out of Europe. Is that clear?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
I can hear you.
Sir, yes, sir.
Good job. Now, we're going to be attacking 5 beaches in Normandy, guys. Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno, and Sword. Now, Utah and Omaha are the American beaches, the best beaches. And Gold, Juno, and Sword are the British and the Canadian beaches. Now, these are code names, boys. The real name for Utah Beach is La Moche, and that of Omaha is Colville-sur-Mer. These are code names. Nazis cannot know about our locations because we have spies among us. I got my eyes on you, private! Thus we named them after the state and the city. But our tea lovers and maple syrup lovers decided to name them after fishes. Goldfish, jellyfish, and swordfish. And one of our brothers in the Great White North decided to name them after one of his wife, Juno. But they are our brothers and we fight together. I don't want any funny business from you boys. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Good job. Now, Utah Beach. We're gonna have the 4th Infantry supported by the 70th Tank Battalion landing there, boys. 23,000 troops. And you're gonna be supported by the 82nd and the 101st Airborne Divisions. Our boys in the skies will land behind enemy lines, taking these towns, Sainte-Mère-d'Église, Sainte-Marie-du-Mont, and Carenton. And they'll support you from behind the enemy lines. And this should be a pretty easy beach to take, boys. There's only one 88mm gun reported there. All 3 entrances should not take you more than 3 hours. Particularly because we'll be landing in the mid-low tide. Alright, what you see right here, this is sort of a representation of the mid-low tide. Do you see those telegraph poles right there? That's where the low tide is. Now if you're at the low tide, you're hundreds of feet away from the enemy. The enemy has an MG42 machine gun, 25 bullets a second. He has a scope, he shoots at you, you're dead! Now if it's the high tide, you're 30 feet away from the enemy. You can't move. He shoots at you. You're dead. Mid-low tide. It's going to be a full moon to help our paratroopers. They're going to be lost in these jungles, boys. And they're going to use these clickers. Now, those are a few paratroopers among us. Get used to this. Once you land in the jungles, you hear a sound. You press this clicker once. In response, if you hear, you're right. But if you don't, you get your gun ready. We also have code words, boys. Flash! Thunder. Remember these words. Gonna come in handy. Now, once this beach has been taken, the 82nd Airborne Division will move towards Cherbourg, Deepwater Port, important for our supply lines, boys. And the 101st will move south towards Groville and Saint Malo. 2 more deepwater ports. And this is how we'll capture the entire Cotentin Peninsula. Now, those of you who are going to Utah Beach, you're carrying a special package with you, boys. Now, if that package tells you a story, you listen carefully. If he tells you a poem, you cry, and if he tells you a joke, you laugh. Because that package is Theodore Roosevelt Jr. He's going to be the oldest man to land on Utah Beach. 57 years old. Brigadier General, the man is a legend. You take care of him. Now, Omaha is going to be a different story, boys. We're going to have the 1st Infantry Division, the 16th Regimental Combat Team. The best infantry division of the entire American Army. Supported by the 741st Tank Battalion. And you're going to be supplemented by the 29th Infantry Division of the National Guard, the 116th Regimental Combat Team, along with the 743rd Tank Battalion. 30,000 soldiers. This is the largest sector, boys. 6 miles of beach. 10,000 yards in width, 2,000 to 3,000 yards in depth. And you're going to be facing the most fierce infantry division of the Wehrmacht, the 352nd. Close to 8,000 soldiers have been reported there. And this is going to be a particularly difficult operation. Why? Because of Point's du Hoc. Owen the Desert Fox Rommel has placed 6 155mm guns there, boys. And those will be destroyed by the Rangers, the 2nd and the 5th, under the command of James Earl Rudder. And he is from the greatest country in the world, Texas. Similarly, on Gold Beach, we have the 50th British Infantry Division. On Juno, we have the 3rd Canadian. And on Sword, we have the 3rd British Infantry Division, supported by the 6th Airborne British Division, who will be responsible for capturing Le Havre, another deepwater port, important for our supply lines, boys. Now, once these beaches have been captured, we move further inland. The Americans will start capturing from the west towards the east. And the British and the Canadians from the east towards the west. We meet in the middle and take over the entire region of Normandy. It's going to be a difficult operation, boys. Some of you may come back home. Some of you may not. But I promise you, you shall all be heroes. Are we ready to take down the Nazis?
Yes, sir.
I can hear you.
Hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good job. So, Patton's gone, sits back. Hi. So this was how Operation Neptune took place. To get an idea, these 5 beaches were specifically chosen in a certain order. Why? Jan 1944, 6 months before the landing, a midget submarine lands on one of the beaches, and these 2 soldiers jump out, swim to the coast, a few dozen feet into the shoreline. They collect a little sample of the sand. Hiding from the German soldiers, they swim back, and in the submarine, the man writes on the canister, Omaha Beach. There's a reason these were chosen in a single line, right? Why? Because the consistency of the sand is absolutely perfect here for the tanks to be able to move. Now, they could not go to Calais, right? That was a very heavily protected sector. They cannot attack Le Havre. There was an operation called Operation Jubilee. 6,000 Canadian soldiers land in Dieppe in 1942 without any military strategy. 5 hours in, 50% casualties. 9 hours in, all of them are dead. So these sectors, the deep water ports were heavily defended. We'll talk more about that on the bus, how the Atlantic Wall was created, what were the sections of the Atlantic Wall, the different kinds of resistance points, the WNs, the operational bases, and the fortresses that they created. But this was how the attack took place. Now, where was Erwin the Desert Fox Rommel, the man who created the Atlantic Wall on that day?
Germany.
His home. Absolutely. He was in Germany celebrating his wife's birthday. And in Berlin, one man took the most expensive sleeping pill ever recorded in history. Mr. Adolf Hitler. He took a sleeping pill, and the next day, everything was gone. Now, we spoke about Theodore Roosevelt Jr., right? This man, he had no business coming here. And he is a brigadier general, son of the American president. He did not need to be here, but he was here. Man had arthritis, landed with his cane. And it is reported that when he landed, he was pretending to be a traffic cop. Yeah, he was taking bullets on himself and he was letting people go. Great man. He died a month later due to a grenade shell that exploded close to him. And you're going to see him later at the cemetery today. Yes, indeed, he's still buried here. And inside, you must have seen his cane, the very one that he used. The average age of some of these soldiers was as low as 15 or 16 years old. Many of them faked their documents to come here. So yes, we're going to take 2 minutes, all right, in case you want to collect some sand, you want to get some pictures. It's 12:08, let's do 12:10. We'll be right there and then we start moving to the bus. All good?